Welcome to the Home-Based Business Success Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about self-improvement, specifically Jim Rohn on the need for inner development. Coming up next. And here we are, going again, folks. This is our Tuesday edition of the Home-Based Business Success Podcast. And today, going to be talking about self-improvement and the need for self-improvement. Jim Rohn on the need for inner development. There are a lot of people that are not satisfied with their life. They're very unhappy with their situation, with their jobs, with their family situations. You name it. You know, a lot of dissatisfied people in the world out there. And a lot of people think if they can only change their outer circumstances, that is going to make their life perfect. And actually, from what I have experienced in my own life and what I've read in the writings of other people, Jim Rohn and others, that is taking the problem and looking at it backwards. You know, you don't change your outer conditions to make your inner attitude better. You first have to change your own inner conditions, your own inner attitude, to make your outer conditions better. It all starts from within. And the first quote by Jim Rohn I'd like to start off with, it's a short one, and I'm going to follow that up with a much longer, more detailed quote. But the first one is, if you want more, you have to become more. Kind of like, I think he may have been rephrasing what Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world, which is another great quote. But yeah, saying if you want more, you have to become more. And I would go on and say you really have to become what you want. But now Jim Rohn has another quote, very, very much alike the first quote. It's a longer one, and I'm going to read that now. To attract attractive people, you must be attractive. To attract powerful people, you must be powerful. To attract committed people, you must be committed. Instead of going to work on them, you go to work on yourself. If you become, you can attract. And this hits home with me because I was raised in a family that was super critical from time to time. And certain members of my family, I mean, my God, they had a master's degree in negativity. And I was raised in that environment. And I was kind of being raised in that environment. I kind of grew into the attitude that nothing I ever did was good enough. That I really wasn't enough. And I would never really be enough. And that is a terrible thing to believe about yourself growing up. Now, I have overcome that, and there are still issues I'm working on. But when I read that, to attract attractive people, you must be attractive. You really have to have the inner attitude that I am enough. And I may have some flaws, which all of us do. I do have some flaws, but I can overcome them. I can improve. I can get better. And the miracle here is that when you change your inner attitude, when you go to work on yourself, you set up conditions for making your outer world much better as well. A concrete example of this is in college. I had a friend. I had a group of friends who we were kind of like the breakfast crowd. We would meet together at the breakfast table every day and chit-chat, eat breakfast, drink coffee, talk, sometimes read our books, bring our school books there and study for tests or whatever, sit in the cafeteria and use it kind of like a library. And it was kind of a neat place because when other people weren't eating, at the off hours, the cafeteria it was kind of like a big study hall with coffee. And you could go up there and get cereal, get whatever, fruit juice. It was kind of neat. And I had this group of friends that I sat with, and we were kind of like the breakfast crowd. And one of them was a woman, a young lady at that time, who had a very negative self-image, shall we say, about her outward appearance. And she had this practice of always wearing a mountain of makeup. And I really didn't say much to her because I didn't want to be mean, but a lot of times she would come to the breakfast table and she would be looking very clownish, kind of like, Bozo the Clown, just so much makeup, packed it on thick, packed it on heavy. And one day we got to talking about makeup, and I think some of her roommates kind of let us into this conversation because they thought that she was getting a little, thick on the makeup as well. And they were talking about, makeup, and they were asking us guys at the table, what do you think about women's makeup? Should women wear makeup or should women not wear makeup? And, we were sharing our opinions, and I just said, I think some women would look better without so much makeup. And this one woman that was wearing a mountain of makeup was sitting right across from me. And she kind of scoffed and said, Ralph, if you ever saw me without my makeup, you would know that I look a lot better with my makeup on than I do without. And the thing was, I actually had seen her without her makeup. You see, her roommate was another friend of mine who also cut my hair once a month. I would go up to their room and bring a 6-pack or a 12-pack of beer. I think it was a 6-pack back in those days, pre-inflation. And I would give her a 6-pack of beer for cutting my hair. And it was like she did a really good job on cutting my hair. But one night I was up there and she was cutting my hair, and the roommate walked through the common area that we were sitting in while I was getting my hair cut. And I got a good look at her. This was the one that normally wore a mountain of makeup. And she walked through the common area without her makeup on. And I thought she looked a whole lot better without the makeup than she did with the makeup. And looking back, I really should have said something. I really should have given her a compliment, like, you're looking good tonight, something like that. But I was more shy and introverted back in those days, so I didn't think to say anything like that. But this was the same woman that thought she looked a lot better with a mountain of makeup on than she did just going all natural, without makeup. And it was just her own inner attitude about her own outer appearance that made her take steps that I saw as being drastic. Just piling makeup on, thinking it's making you look better, when in fact, she looked a whole lot better, a whole lot nicer without the makeup than she did with the makeup. And there are people that take it to a whole other extreme. Instead of piling on makeup to make themselves look pretty, they will go in for plastic surgeries. And a lot of these plastic surgeries, some are necessary, but a lot of them are not. And I've heard stories of people that go in for a plastic surgery, and before, they don't think they look good at all. They think they look ugly. And then they get the plastic surgery, and then after they recover, they look at themselves in the mirror, and they still think they look ugly. And it's that inner attitude of I'm ugly, that makes them see themselves as being ugly. And so, in order to attract attractive people, you must do what you can to be attractive, to become attractive, and more importantly, see yourself as being attractive. Seeing yourself as being enough. Seeing yourself honestly and realistically. Yeah, I've got some flaws. But you know what? I can take care of them. I can improve. I can compensate. Maybe I don't have the most attractive face, but maybe I've got a real voice for radio. And I can fall back on my voice and just use my voice in such a way that I make people feel more positive about themselves, about their life. Maybe I've got a sense of humor. And I can just kind of use my sense of humor to make myself more attractive to other people. Maybe I know something. I have a talent. I have a skill. I have an inner knowledge that most other people do not have. And I can become attractive to other people by becoming willing to share that special gift, that bit of knowledge with other people. And there are so many different ways that we can make ourselves more attractive to other people that we want to attract if we see ourselves as being valuable deep within. If we see ourselves as being just a mountain of garbage, then we're going to go through life projecting that into our outer world. And you know what? That's what other people are going to see about us too. Yeah, don't go hanging around that girl, or don't go hanging around that guy. Yeah, they're just a pile of garbage, because that's what they think about themselves. And the more strongly you believe something negative about yourself, the more you're going to project that to others in your outer world. And the more other people will begin to see it too. But the neat thing is that the more powerful you believe about the positive things, the more positive things that you say to yourself, the more positive things you believe about yourself, then you know what? You will begin to project that into your outer world as well. And eventually, not only you will begin seeing it in yourself, but other people will begin seeing that in you as well. So become that which you want to attract. To attract powerful people, you must be powerful. What is powerful about a person? What is the most powerful thing you can think of about a human being? Yourself, a friend, others, anybody. Is it money? Is it prestige? Is it something simple like self-confidence? And I think people with self-confidence that believe in themselves, whether they have $1 million in the bank or maybe just $10 in their pocket, if they believe in themselves, if they have self-confidence, to me, that makes them seem a lot more powerful than a person with $1 million in the bank who doesn't think that they're worth anything, that lacks self-confidence. And there are a lot of people, some people have a lot of money because they inherited it. Maybe they accidentally, fell into it due to circumstances beyond their control, but they don't feel themselves to be worthy of it. And so they go through life just projecting that negative self-image. And other people are just scratching their head thinking, how did a person like that get all that money? Well, sometimes people are just lucky, but most of the times people attract what they are inside. And so, yeah, if you want to attract powerful people to work with you, to be your friends, to hang around with you, you must be powerful. You must have self-confidence. And I think that alone can really get you going in the right direction. To attract committed people, you must be committed. And it's a big one, because a lot of people are not really committed to a certain course of action. A lot of us will just bounce around from one project to another, one job to another, one home-based business to another. People will just be chasing those shiny objects, be bouncing around from one thing to another, and not remain committed to one thing for very long. And this is, you think about it, it really is a simple thing to correct. Not easy, but yeah, simple. Because all you have to do to become a more committed person, find one thing that you want to work on. Find one thing you want to get better at, and show up every day and work on it. Doesn't have to be long. Doesn't mean like, I want to become Arnold Schwarzenegger, so I need to spend 5 hours at the gym every single day doing this, that, and the other thing. It can be something as simple as taking 15, 20 minutes a day. Just adding a new thing to your morning routine and becoming better at it. Just focusing, but being committed, showing up every day for even 20 minutes and just working on improving yourself in that one area. And other people begin to see your level of commitment. Committed people begin seeing that level of commitment. You're going to start attracting those committed people into your circle of friends and partners and business associates. Heck, maybe even as a spouse, if you want to go that far. But yeah, if you want to attract committed people, you must become committed. And that's the one disagreement I would have with these quotes from Jim Rohn. It's like he always says, to attract attractive people, you must be attractive. I would say become attractive, become powerful, become committed. Who was it? Leo Buscaglia back in the 1970s, 1980s, a very popular author of that time period, wrote books about human development. And he would say, we are not human beings. We are human becomers. We are always becoming who we are to be. And I thought that's very powerful. A lot of wisdom in that. We're not just human beings who just fell out of the sky, fell out of nowhere, and now we are the way we are, and there's nothing we can do to change. No, we are really human becomers. And you know what? If we're weak in a certain area, we can focus on becoming stronger in that area. Because I am not a human being, I am a human becomer. And becoming better is what we do as human becomers. And I think Jim Rohn would agree with that too. But yeah, that final part of that longer quote, instead of going to work on them, instead of going to work on others, instead of spending every hour of every day just chasing down successful people, and saying, please, please, please join me in my business. Please, 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 please help me improve my business. Please, please, please teach me to become better. We can start to attract those people by going to work on ourselves. And I say that as a person used to be a poor country preacher living in what used to be one of the poorest counties in the United States. We've since improved geographically, as a county, we're not the poorest anymore, but we're still, I think, probably in the top 10 for poverty. Nothing to brag about there. But even living in this area, as a poor country minister with a small congregation, I was doing that about 20 years ago, I was able to cross paths with millionaires living in our area. And they were attracted to me because I was serving the church. I was providing a service that they thought was valuable. And even though I didn't have much money in the bank, I found myself attracting certain people who did. And they were willing to help, to do what it took to help out me, my family, our church, because we were serving the church. We had a common interest. And so don't think that you have to be rich in order to attract the rich. You just have to be seen as a person of value. And being committed to a certain enterprise, being committed to a certain cause that other wealthier people that you want to attract are committed to. Maybe just being confident about yourself, being confident about your business, showing other people that you have what it takes mentally and inner-wise, as far as inner attitude goes, in order to become successful, then you can begin to attract powerful mentors who will be willing to work with you because they see something in you that they want to bring out, that they want to help bring out. And there are a lot of good people in the world, both rich and poor alike, who when they see something special in another human being, will begin to volunteer their time to help that person grow, to bring out that positive potential. So don't write yourself off. If you want to be more successful in life, maybe you're living in squalor, maybe you're dirt poor right now, maybe you're worried about how am I going to pay the electric bill coming up in the next couple of days. You still have what it takes to become better if you start working on yourself. And a good way to uncover the goodness within you is by making a conscious decision that I'm going to see myself as a human becomer. I'm going to do what it takes to become better and make a conscious decision to start spending more time with like-minded people. If you are like I was, raised in a negative family environment, with family members who are either depressed or negative and just constantly, throwing negative garbage at you, you can overcome that by choosing to surround yourself with a circle of friends who are positive. So, I'm not saying divorce your family and separate from them. Sometimes that may be necessary, but also start to incorporate friends in your circle of friends that are positive, that are committed to personal growth, who are committed to improvement. And when your family starts talking negative things to you, just let it go in one ear and out the other, like water off the back of the duck, and choose to listen to your friends instead, who say, okay, yeah, you've got some flaws, but we're working on that. And you can become better than that. And you can change. And you know what? You are good enough to start changing and to start growing and to start becoming a better human being. So if you find yourself in negative situations, definitely changing your mindset is going to help a lot. And changing your circle of friends is going to help a lot. It's going to help you change your mindset. Mindsets are something that we pick up in early childhood from the people around us, friends, families mostly, that just tell us stuff that we believe about the world. And then we grow up thinking that those beliefs are rock solid and that's the only belief we can have. That's a mindset. That's a paradigm. But we can change our mindsets anytime by doing the inner work, by choosing to forget that stuff, as hard as it is, forget that stuff that we learned in early childhood, start surrounding ourselves with people who are telling us a different story, a better story about ourselves, and start telling ourselves that better story about us. If you were raised saying, okay, you're stupid, fat, and ugly, then you can change the story. You can say to yourself, okay, maybe I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but I can become better. I can read more. I can study more. I can improve myself more. Maybe you're a little bit overweight. Okay, I can do something about that. Maybe I don't know what I can do about it right now. But yeah, I can network with folks that have lost weight. I can find out how they did it, and I can become better in that area too. And if people are telling you you're ugly, take a good look at them, take a good look at yourself in the mirror, and just start saying to yourself, you know what? I look pretty good. Here I am, an older guy, 62 going on 63, bad teeth, pretty good personality, I believe. And every day I will go in, shave a little bit, shave the side of my face. I got a goatee now, so I don't shave that part of my face. But, wash up, brush my hair, shave, groom myself a little bit. And then look in the mirror and say, you know what? I look great. I look good. And I feel a whole lot better about myself just by looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I look good, than I feel about myself if I don't do that. It's the little things that we tell ourselves that can really have a big impact, believe it or not. So yeah, if you want to create a better life for yourself, create a better inner attitude. And it starts with just doing daily affirmations. It starts by making small daily changes that will begin to add up and snowball over time to create you a better life in the future. But in order to create a better life in the future, you have to create a better attitude in your own heart right now. Stop saying it's impossible. Stop saying I can't do it. Stop saying I'm not enough. Start saying I am. And I am becoming more. I am smart enough. I am good enough. And I am getting better. Simple affirmation that can work wonders. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. Be a human becomer. Don't be focused on being a human being. Don't think that you're stuck. Focus on getting unstuck. Focus on becoming rather than just being. And that can work wonders in itself. Now, if you want to grow more in any way, we have a mastermind that I'm going to invite you to join, and it's a personal development mastermind. We meet every day, every weekday, Monday through Friday over the phone, and we have different leaders every day that have been on a journey of self-discovery themselves. And some of these people are like 7-figure earners. Some are more humble, 5-figure earners. Some maybe 6-figure earners. Some of us are like 5- and 6-figure earners, working on becoming 7- and 8-figure earners. So just a whole variety of different people. But we're all on a very similar journey of self-discovery. And some of our leaders are further along that path than others. And we meet together by phone every weekday morning. And we just talk about usually the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. But there are other books that we study. And people will share their own experiences. And the leaders will share first. And then the last 30 minutes of the mastermind, other people can get on the line and share where they've been. Share their stories, share their triumphs, share what they're working on and what they need to start doing better, and some of their small victories. And it's a neat little group where a lot of people just come together every weekday morning and just share. And we help others by sharing where we've been. And we help others by helping ourselves, by participating in this mastermind. So if you want to check this mastermind out, and if you can't make the live mastermind, there's recorded audio that is available. You can always catch the latest audio, but I can go ahead and give you all that information. It's a free mastermind. So don't worry if you're flat broke, you don't have to worry about, paying anything up front to get in. And if you're a 7-figure earner, this could become valuable because, we do have some people that are working on becoming better in that area too. Got one guy that's working on becoming an 8-figure earner. So, just check it out and see if it works for you. But I will put that link in the program description down below. And if you're hearing this audio, seeing this presentation on other platforms, go ahead and reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to give you that information. But join us in this free mastermind and start working on yourself. Start showing up consistently every day and working on becoming a better you. And be willing to give it like 6 months, a year, maybe a little bit longer. And begin to see what changes you see in your own inner attitude and your own outer life. Because these things, this simple morning routine, just adding that into your morning routine and participating live if you can, or just listening to the recording if you can't, can really have a big impact in your life. But you have to show up. You have to actually start doing it. You actually have to start using it in order to make it work. But check it out. See if that's for you. So anyway, I think that's about all I've got to say on that. But just keep in mind, if you want more in life, you have to become more. You have to become what you want to attract into your life. And when you start doing that, things will start turning around. So anyway, this is Ralph signing out. Thank you for dropping by. We'll catch you Thursday with another topic on the Home-Based Business Success Podcast. Till then, take care. Have a great one. Catch you later. Bye-bye.